If you're still under 20, becoming a millionaire isn't just possible, it's actually easier than ever before. Hold on, don't roll your eyes yet and say, yeah, easy for old guys to talk. Times were different back then. No, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's simple. There's a big difference. All it takes is learning to think a little differently than most people. Look around you. Most people use their phones just to kill time, scrolling through TikTok, watching endless videos, numbing their brains while becoming obedient consumers. But if you can use that same device smartly, you instantly gain an edge. You move into an entirely different league. While everyone else wastes time, you can be learning, earning, and building. So, how do you actually use your phone the right way? I've put together 8 T principles that will help you spot opportunities early and grow faster than your peers. Tip number 1, follow the money. And no, this isn't about meditating. Relax, I'm not here to lecture you about inner peace. That won't make you a millionaire. But here's what will. Realizing that there's a ridiculous amount of money out there everywhere, literally flowing all around you. And if you don't accept that as fact, you'll spend your life blaming everyone but yourself for your failures. Don't be one of those 40-year-olds whining, it's the government's fault, or it's the economy, there's nothing I can do. When I was a teenager, I already understood that money was everywhere. It just wasn't flowing toward me yet. I saw people with fancy cars, houses, businesses, and instead of being jealous, I asked myself, why not me? Because if someone else could do it, it meant it was possible. Replace envy with curiosity. Replace resentment with observation and learning. My mentor, Dave Monk, introduced me to a lot of wealthy people. Watching how they thought was priceless. These people didn't believe in luck. They just learned to see where the money was moving and positioned themselves right in that flow. Look around you again. Every building belongs to someone. Every ad, every service, every app, it's all someone's idea turned into an asset. When you start thinking like that, envy disappears, replaced by inspiration. Remember this, you don't need to reinvent the wheel to become rich. You just need to show up where the money is moving right now. Think back to 2021 and crypto. Many people got rich not because they built new tech, but because they noticed a trend early and found a way to ride it. Most people miss those waves because they believe wealth requires a genius idea or insane luck. In reality, it's simpler. The most successful people take what already works and do it a little better. Uber didn't invent taxis, they just made rides easier and cheaper. Once you start seeing money not as something rare, but as a constant flow, moving somewhere at all times, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start spotting opportunities. Tip number 2, stop living in save mode. This goes against what most fake financial gurus tell you, but here's the truth. Saving alone has never made anyone rich. Believe it or not, I became a millionaire before I turned 20, and I didn't live like a boring penny pincher. I wasn't sitting in a corner clipping coupons. I just learned how to see where the money was and act accordingly. If you grasp this early, you've got a life ahead of you where everything is possible. I've done a lot of my life, traveled to almost every country on earth, flown planes, raced on international tracks, represented my country at world championships, and built a multi-million-dollar business. And I had fun doing it. Was I reckless with money? No, I just used it strategically and enjoyed the process. Now, every time I hear online gurus say, if you invest $50 a week from age 16 into the S&P 500 at 7% interest, you'll have $1 million by 65. They act like that's inspiring. Let's be real. Who's actually motivated by that? Most people don't dream of waiting 50 years just to finally enjoy their money in retirement. They want to live now while they're young and full of energy. And I get that because I've been there. Yes, investing is important. Yes, starting early is smart. But throwing all your money into the stock market is foolish. That's like locking your cash in a safe and tossing the key away. Right now, you need resources to experiment, to test ideas, try side hustles, launch projects, take risks. That's the real school of wealth. You do need a small emergency fund, maybe 6 months of expenses. That gives you freedom, confidence, and the ability to take calculated risks. But turning your entire life into a savings marathon? Pointless. I've never met a single person who became rich just by hoarding money. Wealth comes to those who make money work, not those who hide it under the mattress. The truth lies in balance. Use both the fast lane and the slow lane. Don't be that person who skips their morning Starbucks coffee thinking they're saving for the future. If small joys make your life better, enjoy them. When you turn frugality into a religion, you give money power over you. But the opposite extreme is no better, blowing everything on nonsense and killing your chances to invest in growth. The key is to know what really matters to you and manage your money intentionally. Tip number 3, stop drinking. Yeah, I get it. Parties, shots, nightlife, that's what youth is supposed to be about, right? But here's the cold truth. If you do what everyone else does, you'll end up where everyone else ends up. Nowhere. Believe me, I'm saying this as someone who's lived a full, wild life. As you get older, your energy fades, and I'd trade any amount of money to get my younger body back. That's your greatest asset right now. Protect it while you have it. Alcohol isn't fun. It's a slow-down button. It's a depressant. Why would you numb your brain and body when they're at their absolute peak? I learned early that real strength is being able to say no when everyone around you says yes. And you know what? People respected that. Instead of wasting nights at parties, I found my joy elsewhere, like in golf, where every swing builds focus, patience, and discipline instead of a hangover. People often say, I just want to relax. Of course you do. You're human. But first, earn your freedom. Build something for yourself. Then you'll realize that having the choice to do whatever you want feels better than any drink ever could. Once you start making real money, you discover a whole new level of enjoyment, one without regrets, brain fog, or wasted days. Alcohol is an expensive way to run away from your dreams. And that hangover the next morning is the perfect reminder of how easy it is to lose another day, one that could have moved you closer to success. Now, I can afford a cold beer whenever I want. But honestly, after 2 bottles, I'm out cold. And I'm fine with that, because I don't drink to forget. I live to remember why I started in the first place. Tip number 4, buy an expensive watch. Sounds weird, right? Especially in an age where everyone has the time right on their phone. I used to think the same thing. Why overpay for something my smartphone already does? But now I realize how wrong I was. A luxury watch isn't just an accessory. It's a tool, one that can open doors you didn't even know existed. First, it's a powerful social signal. A good watch can be your silent business card, a ticket into circles of success. Sometimes it starts with a simple, hey, nice Rolex, and ends with a new partnership. It's not about showing off. It's about connection. Wealthy people notice details, and if you wear something that reflects ambition and taste, opportunities start showing up. Second, a high-end watch is an asset. Unlike a car that loses half its value the moment you drive it off the lot, a quality watch often appreciates with time. Models like the Rolex GMT Master 2, Daytona, or Submariner don't just hold their price, they grow in value. But like any investment, don't dive in blindly. Learn the market, study the history, and buy pieces that hold real worth, not just shiny looks. And third, luxury watches are the most elegant form of mobile capital. You could literally cross a border with $1 million on your wrist without declaring a thing. Of course, I'm not telling you to break the law, just pointing out a fact. And yes, there's a flip side. In some places, guys on motorcycles don't steal wallets, they steal wrists. So if you're going to wear luxury, wear it wisely. Even with those risks, a good watch is a symbol of your journey, your taste, your discipline. They don't lose value. They often give back more than gold ever could. If I could go back, I'd start investing in them much earlier. While others were spending money on gadgets that became obsolete in a year, I could have been building assets that grew with me. So here's my advice to the young and ambitious. Make friends with a Rolex or Audemars Piguet dealer now. Trust me, it might just be one of the most profitable relationships of your future millionaire life. Tip number 5. Destroy your ego. It sounds harsh, but ego is one of the main reasons people stay broke. I've seen too many overconfident people who think they know everything. They don't listen when someone more successful shares advice, and in the end, they drown in their own stubbornness. I was watching Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay recently. The restaurant owners invited him to help because their business was failing. And what do you think happened? They argued with him, with a man who built a restaurant empire. They literally sabotaged their own lives just because they couldn't admit that someone else knew better. That's a perfect example of how ego kills success. Pride is good. Ego is poison. True strength is recognizing your weaknesses and having the desire to improve. Nowadays, with YouTube at your fingertips, there are millions of free lessons available, from public speaking to negotiation to leadership. People pay thousands for this knowledge, and you can learn it right from home. The key is to stop pretending you already know everything. I always felt school gave outdated knowledge. Algebra? Medieval history? Really? What I needed to know was how to build a business, sell, manage money. So I took matters into my own hands, reading entrepreneurship books, listening to podcasts, soaking up every word from successful people. Then I applied it in real life and built a company that earned me my first million. Don't be the person too proud to learn. Ego is an anchor that keeps you stuck. Tip number 6. Build your credit history. If you weren't born a Morgan or a Rothschild, you're going to have to use debt to rise. Without a credit history, the path to millions is like driving on sand, slow, exhausting, and mostly useless. When I was younger, everyone kept telling me, don't borrow, avoid credit at all costs. And I listened. And you know what? That was one of my biggest mistakes. The system is set up to reward those who know how to use debt wisely. Wealthy people aren't afraid of debt. They use it as a tool for growth. Credit is a lever that can multiply your opportunities exponentially. The key is not to be foolish and waste borrowed money on nonsense. Yes, it requires self-discipline, clear thinking, and financial literacy. But done correctly, debt can become your most powerful ally. I regret not realizing this sooner. Because with the right credit score and strategy, you can build an empire. Avoid debt your whole life, and you'll just remain a cautious person with no real capital. In short, kill your ego, build your credit history, and don't be afraid to stand out. Yes, this isn't something school teaches, but this is exactly what separates the people who work for money from the people who make money work for them. Credit score. Your reputation in the financial world. Think of it this way. Your credit score is essentially your trustworthiness rating in the world of money. Banks, investors, even landlords look at it as a measure of reliability. Imagine this. You lend a friend $5 and he pays it back on time. Next time, you wouldn't hesitate to lend him $100. Why? Because he proved he keeps his word. A credit score works the same way, just on a global financial scale. A good credit history isn't just a number on a report. It's your passport to a world where people trust you. Building it takes years, but losing it can happen in a single misstep. One missed payment, and suddenly your score drops. But if you handle debt wisely, pay on time, and avoid overextending yourself, you'll gradually create a financial reputation that opens doors most people don't even know exist. You might be thinking, where do I even start? The answer is simple. Start small. When you're young, banks won't hand you a massive loan, and that's fine, but you can already start laying the foundation. For example, put a mobile phone contract in your name. It's small, but it already counts toward your credit history. Once you turn 18, get a credit card, not to blow money, but to show the system you can handle debt responsibly. And if you're not 18 yet, become an authorized user on a parent's card. This way, you start building your credit reputation before most of your peers even know what a credit score is. Now, 3 golden rules you cannot break. First, always pay on time. This isn't advice, it's law. No hack will save you if you miss payments. Even one late payment can drag your score down. Remember, punctual payments are sacred. Second, don't use all the credit available to you. Credit is not a free pass to spend recklessly. It's a tool that shows how well you can manage balance. If your limit is $1,000, don't use it all. Stay below 30%. The lower your credit utilization, the better you look to the system. Third, don't apply for every credit opportunity you see. Every application signals banks, and too many requests look desperate. Desperation doesn't scream financial stability. So think twice before hitting submit. Less is more here. Follow these 3 simple yet powerful rules, and you'll build a strong foundation for your future. Gradually, your score will rise, and doors to money, investments, and opportunities will open naturally. People who don't understand this spend their lives fighting the system. You can make the system work for you. Remember, credit history isn't about debt, it's about trust. And trust is the most valuable currency in the world. Tip number 7, follow the money. Sometimes what you truly love doesn't make money. That's okay. Loving what you do is important, but so is balancing passion with practicality. If you feel your dream won't lead to financial freedom, don't abandon it, just adjust your approach. A great example is Rick Shields. We interviewed him recently for our Strike It Big podcast. He dreamed of being a professional golfer on the PGA Tour. He was talented and is still an excellent player, but Rick realized he wouldn't reach the top in the sport. So he reimagined his goal, combining his love of golf with other interests, acting and technology. The result? He created a YouTube channel teaching golf, and now he's the most popular golfer online, earning millions a year. The same principle worked for my son, Curtis. He loved making videos and started on YouTube, but realized just uploading content wouldn't bring success. So he shifted to commercial filming, weddings, parties, advertising. He took any gig he could. Eventually, he noticed business coaching videos paid the most. He enjoyed working with these clients, so he focused there. Today, he's my business partner, and this channel wouldn't exist without him. He still does what he loves, earns well, just not the way he originally imagined. The lesson, following the money doesn't mean betraying your passion. It means finding a new way to apply it. Learn skills that are in demand. Identify industries and professions with future growth. Invest your energy and time in skills that give you freedom and stability. Tip number 8, learn to quit. You have to know when to quit. Imagine going to a movie, buying a ticket, and 10 minutes in you realize it's terrible, mind-numbingly boring. But you sit through it anyway because it's a waste to leave. This is the sunk cost trap. The ticket is paid. You can't get that money back. So why waste 2 hours on something you don't enjoy? Leave. That's the smart choice. The same logic applies to life. Maybe you poured time, money, or energy into a project that's failing, yet you keep going because it'd be a shame to quit. But those resources are gone. It's better to accept it and move on than to keep investing in something that won't progress. Let's be honest. Making your first million isn't easy, but it's possible, especially when you're young. Your biggest advantage is time. I earned my first million while still young and built capital that still works for my family today. Don't listen to people who say you have to follow only one path. You can and should combine approaches. Check out the next recommended video. It'll show you practical ways to grow your wealth or point you toward the right direction.